Hello, guys. This is Alex Julian or Aloysius Zanderman here. I am conducting a talk show for tonight, and for the subject of tonight's talk show, I will be getting into eventually a lot of ideas, but definitely it's an idea right now for this video related to original Tommies and their local grandiosity that exists here in specific western parts of California and not much elsewhere. Maybe except for some drift of a little particle or molecule here and there for the Nevada wastelands. I mean, definitely when it comes to deserts approaching the southwest, there cannot be too many picky things going on when it comes to where the spot fits for the radar. And keep in mind that local grandiosity does exist, and I give a toast to you with this Cowboys copper mug, and I'll explain to you the country prejudice that exists here about the Los Angeles region, even if they may pretend to have every liberal idea in existence, which actually, by political science, is impossible to do. I just hear bubbles here. I hear the exhaust. I hear the soda roaring back at me as I drink from this copper mug. And definitely, I drink soda because I think a lot of Westerners do have that approach to drinks where they need a drink in order to think. And definitely there's a lot of notion when it comes to getting the right kind of drink while trying to come up with a philosophy about life, a philosophy about death, and philosophy about the means of existence. It is important. Now, original Tommies, as Westerners may or may not know, is a small chain connecting restaurants, like a few here and there in order, serving burgers, fries, and milkshakes with the indication of chili being added to burgers, fries, and burritos, and tamales, and hot dogs as options. And definitely you could pick up an item without chili. You do not need to have chili, but the chili is there anyway. And definitely the chili has an over sloppiness to it when it comes to the extreme gravity and the pull of the texture when it comes to chili making the market for the west of the California state. And Original Tommy's has been a huge hit in Los Angeles, with the flair going over a little bit for other regions. And, well, let's consider it on that mark as just a lucky shot, because it's not very likely that other regions in the United States would appreciate this chili, and that is because the public can be immune to having a mess, immune to having a a disorder, immune to having confusion, especially confusion. I mean, never mind that a lot of confusion and disorder and messiness is natural in this world. And definitely, there are grounds to keep, floors to sweep. I mean, you name it. I mean, I can even mark it on poetry right there, just as I enunciate those verbs of choice: sweeping and keeping. And let's give another toast here as I drink my diet fluid to get my brain circuitry in order. Uh, but definitely, when it comes to Tommy's, there definitely is a lot of art of cooking when it comes to having all of this sloppy mess on the wrapper for the approach to the western angles around the Los Angeles hemisphere. And there's a lot to say about the City of Angels because, well, we dig for the angels and look for the devils somewhere in the hot waves around us. And the traffic of Los Angeles and other regions in California can get hectic enough to cause a lot of confusion just naturally from the rubber and the squeaking of the wheels going about as such. And it definitely is a new nature when it comes to this pallet industry we are in, when it comes to the cars and the vehicles and the buses and trucks and vans going on roads these days, even if it may be in electric vehicle form, EV, there would still be that angle to piloting, as in piloting in search of places to visit. And, well, I think there will be electric vehicle parking lots for some time at certain places until they can figure out how to store food and drink near the electric vehicle recharging stations. Because definitely right now I'm not seeing a lot in the way of stores to approach on the electric vehicle recharging stations, and instead I just see remnants of the EV stands at specific parking lots for hotels, restaurants, and other stores. And it's definitely something that does come with a window. And definitely there's the paycheck that is done right on the roster for the equal totality of funds to gear up for the road trips ahead. And people will be flourishing here and there when it comes to their need for speed in this time of the economy. So what do we got here with Original Tommy's? Well, Original Tommy's, to tell you the truth, is probably not so original, and the reason is because, believe it or not, in Northern California and in other parts of the West, I have eaten plenty of chilies and beans and potatoes and chorizos and steaks and sloppy Joe mixtures that do get into the chili territory. And Original Tommy's would try to claim her up to it by just turning their chili into a squishy mess, such as grinding it all up into some kind of paste. But you see, ironically enough, that could kill the integrity of the chili because of how there would obviously be a lot of ingredients to that chili, and they grind it up to make it seem like the chili at Original Tommy's restaurants is nothing more than a brown milkshake that does not taste like chocolate and tastes very meaty, beany, and weeny. Unless you want to get a lot of chili. And definitely with their cooking of breakfast all day long, there's a lot to be said about Tommy's with their dedication to keeping up with that demand for brown paste on their burgers and fries and hot dogs and tamales and such. Now, tamales, in case you want to know what tamales are when it comes to Mexican food, well, tamales are basically hot pockets with rough and crispy surfaces and that internalize wholly meat in tribute to the Southwest tang of the traditional parts for Mexican eating styles when it comes to, of course, blah 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 blah. It's a tradition, but a lot of people may not really know quite why it's a tradition and what for. Definitely, there's something to be said about electricity, as in gasoline, oil, solar panel units, magnets, a lot of infrastructure when it comes to where to go for food, where to go for drink, where to go for relaxation. And definitely, I cannot imagine Tommy's to be a really relaxing place in the morning because they do serve so much of that chili on their breakfast items, and their breakfast items are pretty big, so I'm not sure if it would cause for there to be relaxation, especially if it's not an option to get half of a serving of hash browns instead of one. you know, the sizes can be too big on their hot dogs and tamales, especially because I'm not sure with all of that really tasty and savory chili that it would be impossible to taste the better features of their quality if you get half of the sizes. I mean, I'm sure if you take French fries from Original Tommy's and reduce it in half, the flavor would still be there. And that matters to me because I do not need to get too fat just to try to have taste in my boring and dull life. Because after all, there are portions and sizes for a reason. And we do socialize. Or at least we should be socializing, unless you are like me and you are going into stores and realizing what big absolute jerks some people at a cash register can be. And you know, I'm glad that there are plenty of workers at Original Tommy's who are kind enough to give a smile and a hello, have a nice day, sort of here and there. But even then, I would be hoping for there to be more enthusiasm for, um, well, actually, now that I think of it, well, brown paste. What's there to be really hyped up about? Especially if you realize that you could get vegetarian chili in the market for cheaper and get a lot of that same taste experience. And it's similar enough between vegetarian chili and original Tommy's original chili that I begin to wonder if their checks are in order when it comes to their awareness of meat, their awareness of vegetables, and their awareness of fruits, and their awareness of grains. Because definitely, with there being the super hyper blend of the brown paste succumbing to their protein foods, there's definitely something off the margin or off color when it comes to dreams to escape to, such as maybe some of the Los Angeles highways leading towards Dodger Stadium for the Los Angeles Dodgers baseball team. Whoopie doo! And yep, and I'm sure Major League Baseball does have a lot of significance by trying to hide losers from view, right? Never mind that every year there are a lot of losers in the Major League Baseball teams, and they try to cover the losers up by saying, well, they played the game. Weird. Ugh. But then again, the Tommy's breakfast and lunch, especially the breakfast, does get very hot on the tongue, very hot on the plate. And Tommy's, they will offer green chili peppers for your time with their Western chili. Although with the green chili peppers, they failed to describe how to eat these green chili peppers. And there's more and more of this stupid phenomenon going on in California of these restaurants and stores that are pumping out way too many new foods without actually explaining to the audience and teaching them how to eat these foods. Where it's like they're coming up with new food without actually giving new information about the food. And not only does that spell lack of confidence, that also spells lack of education. Or if these workers do have education, they ignore their education and just go on without it. And they paid for education for nothing by being afraid of giving new information when new food comes into place. And I'm sure new ideas are really, really scary to some people, as in, like, oh my gosh, like someone has an extra slice of bacon, or someone has an extra slice of tomato. Well, but that's just the thing when it comes to the whole approach to original Tommy's and the works of having breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And definitely, I think it improves to have breakfast at lunch and dinner because it can remind the restaurants that they need to actually cook their food to merit themselves with the claim that they serve hot food. And definitely, some McDonald's locations and Taco Bell locations, especially Taco Bell locations, have totally lost it when it comes to this old and tired cliche of hot food. Because so often they will barely touch these hot foods and then claim that somehow they offer hot food, even when, we're going into these stores and we're trying these hot foods and realizing it's not really hot food. It's more like just warm room temperature buddies. And definitely there's a lot of rescue, a lot of epidemic, a lot of tragedy when it comes to customers being loyal to businesses that do not care about them so much. And that's sad because I do donate to organizations that help children, in particular organizations like Salvation Army that can help families in need and help children who are in need of help in this world. But when it comes to the personalities of these restaurants, well, they should definitely not be too cocky about their freedom, especially if they have so much freedom that they are unwilling to use it. I mean, because freedom is somewhat important here and there when it comes to the American Constitution, but then again, what about the quality of living? As in the actual conditions of our lives. Definitely, if businesses are unwilling to come forth with their ideas on prosperity, and if they are unwilling to let us prosper under the will of the nation, then I do not think that they have any good sense in them enough to market for the better approach of humanity and let people just have their freedoms. Because definitely it is a challenge. It is definitely something that goes on radar, and we do keep eyes on things. Let me give a toast to that and drink more and give more of my sarcastic rant about Tommy's world famous chili. Okay, just to say this to original Tommy's. Let me drink this and tell you the problem of the phrase world famous. Okay. Okay. Just so original Tommy's knows. Um, Do not say that you have world famous chili if you only have a few dozen restaurants here and there. I mean, because that contradicts physics. Um, when it comes to world famous is something more like Subway, something more like McDonald's, something more like Burger King, even, because of the expanse of chains when it comes to them locating food spots here and there to serve the population. And when it comes to world famous, well, if the customers at Original Tommy's are indifferent about the place they're going to, and if they're just treating it all as a mundane, everyday phenomenon, then I do not think Original Tommy's is in a position to say with confidence of absoluteness, 100%, that they are world famous. And And I know this because one time I read graffiti in the bathroom somewhere at a restaurant that said something like, "Haters make me famous." And well, I know what that's about. I mean, so often it's the things that people hate that are the things that people love, because people can get confused on what love is and what hate is, and that's the approach to it. So with my review of original Tommies, and I'm just keeping it simple here since I need to go somewhere for the moment. With my review of original Tommy's food and chain, I give it 2.5 stars out of 5. It's not the greatest food, but it is definitely really good food for the most part, and the chili does spark a lot of curiosity. Have a good one. Ciao.